Hola, hola, bienvenidos a todos. Hi everybody, welcome to Spanish class. Bienvenidos a Español 20, specifically welcome to Spanish 20 of the 6Y program. Mi nombre es Señorita Enriquez. My name is Miss Enriquez, and I thought I'd put together a little video here, a little welcome video that shows you what the course would be like, any expectations, structures, and of course what programs we use here at Argyle. I'm sure you've noticed we have quite a different format here, and on top of that, my classes are different than most of the classes here at Argyle as well. So we're just going to go through all of that together right now. Okay, so first off, it's really important that you know exactly which course and which program you are in, especially when you're signing into Blackboard sessions. I have all the 6Y students checking in on the same days this year, which means 6 different courses will be checking in at the same time, which means it's really important for you to know which one you're in. So this course is Spanish 20, Language and Culture. Your program is 6-year. More often than not, you'll see it as Spanish 26Y. All means the same thing. The 6Y, what does that mean? That means it takes you 6 years to complete this program. So you would have started back in grade 7, slowly made it up to the intermediate levels through junior high. And of course, you're way up here now. It's your second last year of your program. You're almost there. And so the Spanish at this level is quite advanced. The only other course you would have to take after this would be Spanish 36Y. In grade 12, sometimes the grades don't line up. Sometimes you finish earlier, sometimes you finish later. Usually this is how it goes, but that's the last course that you finish the program with is Spanish 33 or 36Y. We also have a 3Y and a 9Y, so hopefully that doesn't slip as I stick to the 6Y. So looking at Spanish 26Y, a little closer, like I said, this would be your 5th year of formal Spanish education. That's formal Spanish. So ideally, you would have finished Spanish 7, 8, 9, 10, 6Y, all of the 6Y program. If you haven't and you're not really sure, whether you fit into this particular class or this particular level, there are various other Spanish 20 levels. So all you have to do is simply send me an email or give me a quick phone call at the school or swing by the school so we can have a quick little chat and I will find the right place for you. Again, at this point, you have had a lot of exposure to Spanish, whether in your courses in the program or you have Spanish speakers at home that you've been practicing with, things like that, or you've lived in a Spanish-speaking country, all of that counts. However, these 3 are requirements for this course. So again, if you're not sure whether this is the right level for you, or maybe you completed some of this but not all of it, things like that, by all means, guys, just contact me. Please don't be afraid or nervous to do so. It is not a problem at all. In fact, I spend most of September moving students around. So moving you around would not be a problem. What would be a problem if you get stuck in a course all year long that's not at your right level, right? So just let me know. I will find the right place for you and set you up for success for sure. Okay, but if you do meet these 3 requirements, let's go ahead and continue. So first off, what to expect this year. It is a full year course. All language courses with Edmonton Public have been designed to take an entire year, so keeping that in mind. Also expect roughly 3 hours of work each week, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. I do give students a heads up. Everybody will be working at a different pace this year, so it's your responsibility to stay on top of your workload. And this does not mean that you're expected to be in class for 3 hours. It means that you should be putting in roughly 3 hours of work to a week to complete your assignments, your worksheets, your projects, but also to be practicing out loud. So even if you get through your assignments, you should definitely be practicing out loud, repeating, practicing so you can become more and more fluent. So the steps this year, first you're going to watch your instructional video, then you're going to complete written assignments, and then verbal assignments. So these instructional videos, guys, they're very, 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 very important. You're going to hear me say that about 1,000,000 times in this video. So as you can imagine, with 3 different Spanish programs and 18 different Spanish courses, It's basically impossible for me to catch all my students. A lot of the time they're in school full time or volunteering, things like that. So what I've done is I've taken what I normally would have taught you in class and I've made instructional videos on my own time, which means that you can watch these videos on your own time whenever is most convenient for you. That's the instructional class time. But whatever you do, please watch them seriously. Do not just flop on the couch and kind of play it in the background. You won't catch all the important information. You'll miss a lot of really important information. And at the end of the day, you'll just make your written assignments and your verbal assignments more difficult and confusing for yourself. So when you're watching these videos, you really want to stop and pay attention as if I was right there instructing them for you. So you want to have a notebook out. You want to be jotting down notes and jotting down specific questions that you might have for me or certain areas that you might want to go through together on our online sessions. And watch the videos as much as you need to. Some students watch one video like 20 times because it serves as a good listening activity. You get to hear a lot of the language, and those instructions really start to cement themselves in your mind so you can really own the language and use it successfully. So once you're comfortable with the very important videos, make sure you complete the written assignments on Google Classroom. They're usually worksheets. Sometimes they're projects. Every now and then, rarely, you'll see a quiz. But that's mostly at worksheets and projects. You submit them right there in Google Classroom. And of course, lastly, you complete verbal assignments. So you do have to come online to do these verbal assignments with me on a weekly basis, which brings me to the next point, which is to make sure you have a working mic. This is very, very, very important because yes, you must speak in Espanol in order to pass this course. So I think a lot of students think this is a correspondence course. This is not a correspondence course. So you can't just fill in your written assignments and send them off and think that that will get you a final grade. It will not. This is a language online course, online, which means you do have to complete written and reading assignments as well as listening and speaking assignments. So make sure you have a working mic or a way for me to hear you speak on a weekly basis. Most laptops now come with mics embedded in them. If not, you can buy a separate mic and connect it to your existing computer. That's definitely an option. Whatever you need to do to make sure that I can hear you speak in Espanol on a weekly basis. And it's really important that I can hear you and I can hear you clearly because these verbal assignments do make up the majority of your final grade. So just keeping that in mind. Lastly, there is no set class time. Like I said, the instructional videos, those would be essentially our instructional time in class. So there is no set time where you have to come for an hour and hear me lecture or anything like that. However, you do have to attend class every single week. You can do so anytime on Tuesday from 9 to 12 or Wednesday 9 to 12 or 1 to 4. So you can come Tuesday at 9 a.m. one day, 1 week. The next week it could be Wednesday at 2:15. Another week, maybe you're working on a big project, so you check in both days. It's totally up to you. You don't need to let me know when you're going to swing by or swing by electronically. But all you have to do is make sure that you do so once per week. So I have some students that have very limited free time. They come in first thing in the morning at 9 a.m. They sign in, they do their assignment. It takes them a few moments. I check them off for the week, and they're off running to their next activity or their next job and things like that. Some other students have maybe no one to practice with at home or at school, so they come online all the time. They'll come several times throughout both days so we can practice together. We can get in that Spanish practice out loud. Sometimes I edit work for them, go through any trouble areas together, things like that. Again, both are very, very welcome. Again, using these times for what you need and to make sure that you're successful in this course. All right, so that is the structure of the course. The programs we use are going to be a little different this year. If you've taken Spanish with me at Argyle before, you're probably expecting Moodle. We will not be using Moodle this year at all, so you can go ahead and forget about that for a moment. We'll be using Google Sites, Google Classroom, and Blackboard. So you can access everything actually by school zone. Sign into school zone, select apps, and then sites. And I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. Once you're in the sites, you'll be taken to a place called the Launching Pad. Yes, I may have called that I call it that by myself. I don't think that's what it's officially called, but that's what I'm calling it. And that literally is where everything is. So it looks roughly like this. Make sure you keep an eye out for the 6Y program. If you see 9Y or 3Y, you've been linked to the wrong one. So just send me a little email. That's just a little technological glitch, and I'll get you sent to the correct launching pad. So once you're here, it might look a little different from time to time. I tend to tweak the icons and things like that, but it will look more or less like this. The first icon here is your Blackboard, this purple icon. So if you were to click on that, it would take you straight to Blackboard. That's where we have our online sessions, where you come to do your verbal assignments, where you can interact with me directly. Heads up, when you click into it, it will ask for your first and last name. And guys, please make sure you're putting your actual first and last name or last initial. Don't put any nicknames or funny names or anything like that. I appreciate it and I'll always have a laugh, but then I'll ask you to sign out and sign back in with your actual name. It's the only way I get to see who you are. And throughout these days, all 6 courses of the 6Y program will be checking in. So it's really important that I get to see exactly who you are, and of course that you know which class you're in, which course you're in, so I can help you accordingly. The next icon right here, Google Classroom, you click on that, it'll take you straight to Google Classroom. That's where you hand in all your written assignments. Next, who is your teacher? So I thought I'd put together a little video about myself. I know it's hard to really get an idea of who we are in this format online. And I know a lot of students tend to wonder what kind of teacher I am. So I thought I'd put together a little video that shows my teaching style, my teaching background, and what you can expect from me as a teacher, and also what I hope to get from my students from the year as we proceed through this course. So if you click on that, it'll take you straight to the YouTube video where you get to know a little bit more about your teacher, tu profesora. And of course, the welcome video right there that I put. There'll be several. There'll be all 6 of them for the Spanish program. So make sure you're clicking on your specific one if you want to review any of the information or anything like that. Okay, so looking a little closer to Google Classroom, there's the icon right there. Sometimes the background is green, but it's the same thing essentially. This is where you hand in all your written assignments and projects. So it looks like this. The main page. So again, you want to make sure that you're in the right place, Spanish 26Y. Once you get here, you want to always focus on classwork. So go to classwork. It'll again look a little differently for you because this is a teacher view, but once you click on classwork, you'll be taken to your units. Inside each unit, you'll find the instructional videos, and next to the instructional videos, you'll find the corresponding worksheets and projects. And right there in Google Classroom is where you submit everything. So when you're done, you click submit, and I will receive the work on my end. So please do not send me stuff via email or Google Share. That's how things get lost in transit. Everything can be found and submitted right here on this page. Blackboard, like I mentioned, this is where you come to class for your online sessions to complete verbal assignments, ask questions, discuss any assignments, concerns you might have, all that fun stuff. So all you have to do is click the purple icon, like I mentioned, or any of these 2 icons as well. They're older. I doubt you'll see them. We used them in the past, but not so much anymore. But just in case you see them, don't be alarmed. It takes you all to the same place. Okay, so to get started, you want to sign into SchoolZone. Your username and password will be the same from when you first registered with Edmonton Public Schools. It stays with you no matter what school you go to, so that'll be the same as before. Once you're in, again, this looks a little different for students than teachers, but you get the general idea. So here you'll find your school news, your class news, of course. So this is where I post any really important reminders, deadlines, any class cancellations, PDs, things like that. Also at the top here, student profile and reports, you'll find your report cards, your interim marks, your updated marks. And of course, if you come here to apps, click on apps, you are taken to sites right there. So click on that, and then you'll be right at the launching pad where you have everything that you need. So SchoolZone, apps, sites, you're at the launching pad and off and running. All right, so I'm pretty sure I said most of this before, but just a quick recap. Steps to take in order to be successful in this course. Number one, always, always, always make sure to watch the instructional video first. It's very, very important. Have I said that before? How important it is? It is super duper important for you to watch all the videos. Well, sorry, to watch each video in the right order and to watch it carefully and to watch it from beginning until the very, very end. Number two, complete the corresponding assignments to each instructional video before moving on to the next video and assignment. So like I mentioned, everybody will be working at a different pace. Some students will be behind you, some will be ahead of you. So if you're working on a particular unit and you see the next 2 or 3 units pop up, don't be alarmed, don't worry, don't even look at it. Continue working at your own pace and make sure that you finish all the assignments in order. So if I'm sure you've already noticed in languages, especially, one concept leads to the next. So at the beginner level, we looked at the alphabet. Then the alphabet became words, and words became sentences. Then sentences became complex sentences. And then eventually everything became independent conversations. So if you start jumping around, you miss a lot of information that way, and it's really easy to get confused. So you want to make sure that you complete everything in order. Again, your attendance requirement is to attend class once per week. That is a minimum. You can attend as much as you want to, but you do have to check in once a week to complete those verbal assignments. So Tuesdays and Wednesdays, attend class. Make sure you complete all written assignments Google Classroom, all verbal assignments on Blackboard, and a heads up, be ready to dedicate all of January to the midterm task and all of June to the final task. So I give all my students plenty of time. I give them a heads up in September about this. Notice it's midterm task and final task, not exam. It is not an exam. It's quite a big task. It will take a lot of work. I will be there with you every step of the way. And it's a really great way to bump up your mark and to really solidify everything that you've learned. But it is a lot of work. So you want to make sure that all your semester 1 assignments are done before January and all your semester 2 assignments are done before June. If you don't and you're trying to juggle your past assignments with your midterm task or your final task, it will be overwhelming. It will be way too much work to do. So you really, really want to make sure that you get everything done before then. Okay, so now that we have a plan, hopefully you're feeling as determined as the little penguin right there in the center. I realize that the rest don't look as determined. But hopefully you're feeling like this guy right there. If you're not, feel free to send me an email, phone call, swing by the school, and I will definitely help you out with whatever questions or concerns you might have at this point. If not, if you're ready to go, I wish you buena suerte, good luck, y éxito en este nuevo curso, and success in this new course. All right, guys, I look forward to seeing you in class. Gracias. Adios.